Senator Siewert.
It comes as no surprise, Mr President, that the Greens will not support the amendment to the amendment. We will be supporting the amendments moved by Senator Moore. These dates and timeframes that the government wants to put on consideration of these bills is entirely unreasonable. Let me first turn to the social security measures, Bills 1 and 2. These are the changes that bring in the most amendments that bring in the most fundamental changes to our delivery of social security in this country that we have seen for a very long time. And when does the government want us to report on them? By Monday. From the Community Affairs Committee, which the government will know very well, have a double hearing on Friday. So in other words, we wouldn't even be able to hold a hearing to consider these amendments, let alone be able to contact the dozens of stakeholders or more that are actually, and I'm just thinking of some of the peak or community organisations that are going to want to comment on this, let alone individuals who are going to want to comment on them. We would never be able to get that evidence. This is bringing in. Let me just frame what this is bringing in. Just one of the measures it's bringing in is dropping thousands and thousands of young people under the age of 30 off income support. And how long does this government want us to talk about it? Well, no time, because we would have no time to hold a committee hearing. They want us to report on this on Monday. That's what, 4 days away. That is entirely unreasonable. That's not even considering all the other measures, the change to family tax benefits, the change to portability on DSP, you name it. The changes this government wants to make that fundamentally change our community, they want us to consider in less than 4 days. That is unreasonable. And then you turn to BSWAT. Yes, I entirely agree. We need to be working on that. In fact, I've made comment on that in both estimates and in this place. And yes, it is a very sensitive issue, which is exactly why we need to consult, because I don't know about in fact, I do know. In fact, Senator Moore has had contact from stakeholders saying they haven't been consulted and they're very worried, as have I. They want some time to consider this legislation because it is important legislation. It is very important that the people that have been underpaid as a result of BSWAT do get some payments, and that we do get a new tool. I entirely agree with the government on that one. However, I don't agree that people should be given, until we're reporting on that one generously, another extra day. Again, going to Community Affairs, again, when we're going to would hold a hearing, is beyond me. They want us to report that one on the 24th. That is, again, unreasonable when you consider the impact that this is going to have. Is what the government's proposing, is actually the legislation itself reasonable? Is it fair? Is it actually going to provide the sorts of payments that people think are actually adequate, bearing in mind that there's still this is still a very live issue in the community? So that is unreasonable. In terms of ARENA and the reporting date for that, that is unreasonable as well. That is a very important organisation that this government, because they're climate deniers, just want to get rid of as soon as possible. We know what their agenda is, but the community, again, and stakeholders need time to adequately consider that measure. But I'll go back to the social security changes, because it just boggles my mind, really, that the government think it is reasonable to make changes that they will have had as many emails, if not more, than we have had, and phone calls and messages about the unreasonableness of these measures. This also changes the indexation to single parents. Not only have the previous governments attacked single parents, but here they are trying to rush through by next Monday inquiring into, and it would take it takes one inquiry itself just into these measures that affect single parents, given what they've already done to them. But they're removing the education supplement, changing indexation. Again, all these complex measures that we have not had time to adequately look at because, as I said in this place earlier this week, in estimates, departments were not able to give us the details around these measures because some of it they're still making up. So what they're asking us to do is have a completely nonsense time period to consider these measures when they aren't even able to tell us how these processes and how these measures are going to operate. We will be supporting Senator Moore's original amendments because we think that's a fairer time frame to consider what are unreasonable measures.
The